Hey guys, back to old family horsemanship here. We're going to talk about what to feed your horse. Okay, this is another part of the series of showing you that regular people can do this and be competitive and enjoy horses and be better than the average person. All they got to do is put some time and effort into it and be consistent with it. If you like these videos, please hit subscribe and make sure you share. So today we're going to go feed. We've got hay, which is the standard feed everybody knows about. Hay comes in different sizes. We do the 50 to 60 pound bales, so we throw one at a time. There's the 2-ton bales, or sorry, not 2-ton, 1-ton bales. I want to say those round bales. I've never gotten them. I've watched them feed. And then there's the larger bales, half-ton, or they're big square ones, essentially. With those, you can free feed them or you can peel them off and feed them. We choose this because we don't free feed our horses. The reason we don't do that is because money saving, and we don't want them to gorge themselves. But typically a horse, if it gets free fed and worked consistently, won't have a problem with that. It should eat only the amount it needs, but just be careful with that. As far as hay goes, make sure the person you're buying hay from is high quality grass. You don't want too many weeds in there. And you don't want weeds that are poisonous or weeds that if they dry out will get stuck in their gums. Some types of grasses will do that. So make sure it's good quality hay. Price of hay right now in Utah is 10 to 15 bucks a bale. Even 2 years ago it was more like 7 or 8. We're in a massive drought and demand has gone up. So you can obviously figure out how that works. Demand goes up and there's less supply, prices go up. Get your hay early in the season, that way you don't run out or have to pay extra on the end of the season. And then more importantly, calculate appropriately for the entire year. So we calculate roughly 3 flakes per horse per day. So for instance, one horse would eat roughly half a bale, maybe a little bit less per day. So do that math times the days you have the horses and the number of horses you got. Try to figure out your rough number and then shoot over that by about 50 bales in my opinion. So hay, very important, the staple. We've moved to cubes this year. It's our first time. These are Timothy alfalfa mix cubes from Diamond K in Utah. These cubes right here are mostly grass with some alfalfa in them. They've got a binder to them that they should break apart pretty easily, and when they put them in their mouth, the saliva should break it down so they don't choke. Warning, there's choking hazard in cubes and pellets. Make sure they got the proper binder to make sure they don't choke. It's always safe to water them down. We haven't been watering these ones down because they've got that binder to them and they break down pretty easily. But just so you know, these can be a choking hazard. We've used them this year to supplement our hay, to save hay. And these come in 1,500 pound totes that we're buying. They also come in smaller bags. We have them delivered or dropped off, or if I need to, I pick them up and then load them with the tractor. They're a really good way to supplement. Just be sure that when you're bringing the cubes home, you put them in somewhere it's going to be dry, or cover them with a bunch of tarps, because we did have one bag, after we only used half of it, get moldy all the way through from rain and moisture. So make sure you cover them. That's a good thing to talk about as far as hay in general. It needs to be covered. You don't want moldy hay, can't feed it, harm the animals. And you also don't want it too hot and stuffy because they will spontaneously combust, at least the bales will. I've had a couple where I went through the season, all of a sudden I get to the very end and there's a few that had trapped moisture and had burnt, but you didn't know it. Next is supplements. So we have been doing ADM supplements at the recommendation of a friend who's a real super puncher up in Idaho. He does the free feed. We've been doing the pellets. I think we're going to move to the blocks because they like to eat these. If your horse is eating rocks, or if your horse is eating dirt consistently, a lot of it, they're probably low on their minerals. And that's what this is. This is the ADM mineral Grow Strong. It's probably what I'm going to stick with. I'm hoping to grab a block or a lick that I can just throw out for efficiency purposes and not have to feed it every day. And once they get their proper mineral intake, they'll stop eating it and they'll just eat it when they need to. Salt blocks, make sure you got a salt block in your pen. Same thing, they need salt just like humans do. And then you've got grains. I didn't grab a bag of grain. I don't feed it often. I use is it Purina, Neutrogena? I don't remember. I use a grain bag that's got high sugars that the horses like, and I really only use it to feed them vitamins or supplements or basically stuff they won't eat on their own. Any type of antibiotics or bute or medicine really, or as a treat. My Mustangs have gotten a little picky. They don't like some of the bags that my AQHA quarter horse does, so I try to stick with the same feed, which is more or less like candy. There's so many different types and kinds. I don't really recommend any. I'm not going to endorse any. Pick what you think works and what your horse likes, and don't overfeed it because you don't want them to get too much sugars. Basically, it's used to maintain weight and feed medicines. The only other thing you could use it for is if you do a really long, hard day, like 20-30 miles, you might give it to them so they get some extra calories so they don't lose muscle mass, etc. if they're already pretty lean. So that's what I feed. Hay, cubes, make sure you got salt block, minerals, and then you've got grain. As far as the rest goes, you want to make sure you store your food near your horses where you have a way to get it back and forth. So we store all our hay back here, use the Kubota to move it around. At our last place we had a barn, everything was stored inside, super easy. Just was able to pull it open, didn't have to walk more than 20 feet and throw it in each stall. So that's how you feed a horse. If you enjoyed this, make sure you hit subscribe and share. We're going to be putting out more videos as we go. Remember, anybody can be a cowboy.